our final speaker this morning will be by one of our community friends, Sulakshana. Sulakshana, take it away.
Cool. So hi, everyone. My name is Sulakshana, and I'm a campaigner at Rainforest Action Network and an organizer with 350 Seattle here in Seattle. And I'm going to be talking about the money pipeline to fossil fuels. I want to quickly start by situating our moment within the crises that we find ourselves in. So since the onset of coronavirus, the fossil fuel industry has attempted to profiteer off the crisis, pushing forward with the construction of dangerous pipelines like Keystone XL, which you may have heard about, Line 3, Coastal GasLink frack gas pipeline, and they're lobbying for bailouts from the federal government. Even as the price of oil tanks this week, it reached a historic negative price, as Kevin was saying. Bailout money should be going to support people, not polluters, as many are struggling to pay rent and put food on the table. And we know that fossil fuels exacerbate the ongoing climate crisis, infringe on Indigenous land rights, and endanger public health, especially in this moment where we're seeing the potential spread of the virus in rural areas and on tribal lands, as fossil fuel companies say, that is essential infrastructure that needs to be built. So I'm going to talk about one way that we can act in solidarity with communities fighting these projects, which is by tracing the money behind them. So all fossil fuel projects, all new ones, need three things to move forward: permits from local, state, and federal governments, money from banks or their own savings, and insurance policies to cover the risks of building these massive, destructive projects. And that in turn means that we have to take on not just the oil and pipeline companies, but also the banks, the asset managers, the insurance companies that are propping them up. I know Seattle University knows this well, having divested from fossil fuels. Without insurance, new fossil fuel projects can't be built. Liberty Mutual, for example, is providing essential insurance coverage for the construction of the Keystone XL tar sands pipeline, which is being built without the consent of impacted First Nations along the route. And without that insurance coverage, that project can't move forward. The biggest banker of Keystone XL pipeline, that's Chase Bank, which is providing billions of dollars to TC Energy, the company building it. Without those loans, TC Energy wouldn't be able to afford to build one of the biggest pipelines in the world. Put simply, if we can stop the flow of money, then we can stop the flow of oil and ensure that Indigenous land rights are respected. So that means taking on the heart of global capital, which is Wall Street. Here in Seattle, there's a movement growing to do just that. More than 3 years ago, 350 Seattle and Rainforest Action Network helped launch the campaign to hold the biggest bankers of fossil fuels accountable. 350 Seattle, along with the Indigenous-led organization Mazaska Talks, which means money talks in Lakota, pushed the city of Seattle to cut ties with Wells Fargo, a key funder of the Dakota Access Pipeline. We're still working on this campaign, pushing for a city public bank as a viable option to the greed of Wall Street. We've also teamed up with organizations across the country to take on Chase Bank, which is the biggest funder of fossil fuels in the entire world. The campaign has held sit-ins at Chase branches, shut down 2nd Avenue here in Seattle, in that picture on the left, and gotten customers like cities, businesses, and individuals to say, no, I'm not going to bank with Chase anymore. More recently, we're taking on the insurance giant Liberty Mutual, as you can see on the right, for its role in backing tar sands pipelines and Indigenous rights abuses. So I want to share quickly how you can get involved with these campaigns. Not all of us can go to the route of a pipeline, to the front lines to block construction, but we are all connected to banks, insurers, or not all of us, but many of us are, and we have those offices and branches in all the cities that we live. So 3 ways that you can join this campaign. The first is to move your money, shift out of a Wall Street bank to a local credit union or a local bank, which keeps profits in the community. Credit unions actually are not for-profit institutions, so they are there to support the community. Tell your financial institutions why when you move your money. Let them know what your values are and why they don't align with what the bank is investing in. And tell your friends too. And finally, join the campaigns to hold these corporations accountable, to stop business as usual, to take on the heart of global capital. We need collective action, as this photo here shows. So here are some links, places you can find out more about these campaigns. And right now, there's a 3-day live stream happening called Earth Day Live. And tomorrow the theme is Stop the Money Pipeline. So it'll be a full day of content at earthdaylive2020.com, I think, or .org, one of those. And you can hear from folks that are engaged in these campaigns, from Indigenous leaders on the front lines of these fights against fossil fuels, and youth leaders that are taking on these companies. So thank you very much.